and more. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
With the new MyLowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. You've made it. You've made it to Friday, May 8th, 2026. I do hope you had at least somewhat of a productive week as we are embarking on yet another weekend in the merry month of May. I'd have to say around here this week has been, eventful, complicated, rewarding, fulfilling, and any other adjective you possibly could describe. I appreciate the conversations that we're able to have because oftentimes we get perspectives that we may not consider. We take a variety of telephone calls here. There's a number of ways in which people can interact with this show and share their opinions on issues of the day. I think overall it's a net positive because, we have our own sentiments and thoughts and the way that we all individually interact with the world, interact with our cities, our elected officials, et cetera, but we don't often consider how someone else may have different experiences with those same institutions that we are very vocal about. Clearly, things are different now. And I'd like to think that the shows that we have here on 1017 The Truth are reflecting how different, odd, unusual, and unorthodox these times are. There are a lot of things that need to be dealt with and need to be remedied, but you are forced to prioritize, and I think this is what makes community building very different, because there are some people who are really, really concerned about foreign policy and the forever war that we are now involved in the Middle East. There are other people that are very concerned about the impact of artificial intelligence on our jobs. Along that same line, in that same vein, there are people, which we discussed a little bit yesterday, that live in rural areas that do not want some of their precious farmland and natural resources dedicated to these AI data centers. Then there are people who are concerned about quality of life issues. And quality of life issues is, I come to find out, a lot of you have had to replace parts on your vehicles because of potholes. That's an obligation that the city is supposed to remedy, and they're not doing a very good job of that. There are other quality of life issues, including how our young people are educated, because we are, for the most part, footing the bill for the workforce that we are investing in, and that's our young people. Now, I know that we talk extensively about education on this program. In fact, we interviewed and had a conversation with our very good friends over at City Forward Collective, and they are an organization that exists to make sure that wherever a child goes to school, that education is in fact high quality. But if I asked, 8 out of 10 people in the city of Milwaukee, they probably would express some level of dissatisfaction with how we are preparing the future workforce in the city of Milwaukee. Because remember, it is in our best interest, those of us that are around right now, that hope to have some semblance of a retirement, even though I don't know what retirement would even look like for me. What would I do in retirement? Host a part-time radio show and be a consultant? Hell, I'm doing that now. But in order for us to have a comfortable retirement, we have to make sure that we have got low levels of crime and full employment and people paying into Social Security systems or people paying into deferred compensation systems so that those of us that hope to enjoy a retirement one day are still receiving some kind of income. And so you have all of these different things that people can be focused on, and it's really, really hard to build consensus. And then you have things like the president probably is a pedophile and was going to an island where we know that children were trafficked. For some people, nothing else matters. Everything else pales in comparison when you're talking about dealing with these federal crimes and the immorality and the trauma that our current crop of federal leaders have engaged in, and we don't even really talk about it anymore. Because you do, in fact, have to prioritize, right? Like, what world do you live in where you can remove Trump from office, raise wages, improve educational outcomes, reinstate DEI, get rid of racism, make sure wages are sufficient, reduce the cost of healthcare? Like, that's a lot of stuff. And maybe that is the reason why we have so many candidates running for governor. I did have the pleasure of speaking to one of those candidates last night. I'm not going to identify the candidate because they did not reach out to me in an on-the-record type of way. If it was on the record, I would share the details of the conversation with you, but I'm going to protect the nature of what we shared. And even they're expressing a tremendous amount of frustration. So I want us to have some kind of aim and focus. I need to be the first one to have aim and focus because I know that this program tends to drift from topic to topic and subject to subject because clearly we can't cover all of them, but we do have some opportunity to talk about, to address, and hopefully mitigate some of these most pressing issues that we are facing. And so via YouTube, because we always ask you guys a question, because, we have inquisitive temperaments here at 1017 The Truth. And I want to gauge your level of satisfaction with local government. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail because I think when I say local government, people may not know all of what we're supposed to get when we pay taxes. we're really focused on the stuff we're not getting. Maybe the garbage isn't getting picked up. Maybe the streets are not getting plowed when it snows. Other quality of life issues. There's a whole host of things that the city is supposed to provide without any of us having to ask, that I don't think that many of us are aware of. And if we're going to be intelligent voters, and I really, really hope that is what we prioritize, because we have a lot of elections that we need to vote in, we have to know all of the services that we are entitled to because we are paying for said services. And if those services are not being delivered, or if they are not to the level that we expect, because you go out to a restaurant, right, and you expect a high level of service because you're paying for the service. You're not just paying for the food. You're paying for someone to have a clean and pleasant environment with clean dishes and silverware, and the person bringing your food has got to have a upbeat, positive demeanor. You are paying someone to clear the table, to bring your drinks, to fill your water, and also to take away your dishes and do the dishes on your behalf. You're paying for all of those services, plus, of course, the food. Well, here in the city of Milwaukee, we're paying for a whole bunch of services as well. And I don't know if we are aware of all of them, nor are we properly rating the level of service that we are receiving. And I say that because it almost doesn't matter who you are unless you're a multi-billionaire, trillionaire. Money is hard to come by these days. And with taxes, you are required to pay them by law. Some of y'all may not be aware of this. So as property taxes are going up, which are the fees that we pay for the city to deliver us services, and I'm going to share with you what some of those services are, including ones that you never knew that cities were responsible for providing. If your property taxes continue to rise and you're on a fixed income, which a lot of people in the city of Milwaukee are, and if you cannot pay your property taxes, because they raise them whenever they want to, they also can raise the assessed value of your house whenever they want to. Okay, fine, fair enough. But what are we getting in return? And is what we're getting in return worth the money that we are paying, considering the fact that money is very, very, very hard to come by? If you don't pay your property taxes, the city of Milwaukee will take your house. You might not want to pay your property taxes in protest because the services are not, let's just say, satisfactory for the money the city is requiring you to pay. But if you don't pay the taxes, they will take your house. In fact, there was a statistic about this city that just shocked me. It's almost like folks in the city of Milwaukee can't get a break. Crime is a whole nother thing. I want to dedicate some specific time in a segment to that, because the services that we are paying for that is supposed to deliver safety, well, those could be lackluster as well. After the, what do you call it? I guess it was the Great Recession, where you had the home foreclosure crisis and banks were in trouble. They weren't lending anymore, and you had companies going out of business left and right, and we were losing something like 1 million jobs every single month in America. We were in really, really bad shape economically in this country. We still had 2 wars that were going on. It was a whole thing. After we pulled ourselves essentially out of the Great Recession, we noticed something else. Homes were still being foreclosed on. So we went from one foreclosure debacle right into another. People got themselves in these weird mortgages, and then the adjustable rate percentages of their mortgages spiked, and you had people that couldn't afford their mortgages. They put all their houses on the market. There are no buyers for those houses. And the entire economy collapsed, because what Wall Street does is it packages our mortgages into other investment instruments that they sell on the stock market. Meaning, if people stop paying their mortgages, and in foreclosures, people stop paying their mortgages, the entire economy was based on people paying their mortgages every month, which is typically a safe bet, because in America, pat yourselves on the back for this, something like 90+% of people pay their mortgages every single month and pay them on time. So why wouldn't Wall Street consider that mandatory income, that compulsory income that is coming in every single month, and consider that an investment-worthy opportunity until people stop paying? So here's what happened. People stopped paying their mortgages. The economy started to collapse. People weren't paying their property taxes, and the city of Milwaukee owned more homes in tax foreclosure than the banks did during the home foreclosure crisis. I swear we just can't get a break around here. So if you go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, you're going to search 1017 The Truth, or you also can search The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Same difference. Hit subscribe, and then you'll be able to view the live stream of the program, participate in the always vivacious, sometimes sexy YouTube chat, but more importantly, you'll be able to vote in our daily YouTube poll. I want to rate or see the ratings of, or how you all rate your level of satisfaction with local government. Don't worry, I'm going to define what local government is all supposed to deliver. It's not just cops and firefighters. It's a lot more than that. And if there is, in fact, a high level of dissatisfaction, so you got three choices. Are you satisfied with your level of service from the government? Are you very satisfied? Or are you disappointed? This should inform us on what our focus needs to be when we are moving into all of these elections that we're going to have in 2026 and beyond. So we're going to have hopefully an informative chat today. You never know, it might even be entertaining. And of course, at some point, you're going to get some unsolicited advice. I do appreciate you all tuning into The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, and we are exclusively on 1017 The Truth. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now, subscribe to 1017 The Truth, and see this wonderful smile live every day.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family and help out in your community. You've been there for so many others. But when life challenges you, when rising costs, unexpected repairs, medical bills, or simply a rough stretch make it hard to keep up on a limited or low income, you're not alone. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are here for you, working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. If you're struggling with high utility bills, facing a disconnect notice, or dealing with a furnace emergency and your limited or low income isn't enough, support is available. Visit www.heat.help or call 1-800-506-5596 to apply for a hand up.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm curious to know how you would rate your satisfaction with local government. And technically, if you are in fact dissatisfied, we have the option to replace a lot of the people that are not meeting our expectations considering what we are paying, because taxes are a real big deal. I was against the increase of the sales tax because I knew that that was the most regressive tax. And if you don't make a whole bunch of money, going from 5.6% of essentially everything you buy to 7.9%, while the number seems small, added up over a year. That's pretty substantial, assuming that your income is not continuing to go up. Then there's the whole thing with inflation. Then there are the tariffs. We got so screwed on the tariffs. We got so screwed, even though that is something that should dissatisfy people. It's not a local issue, but it adds to the chaos. we got screwed on the tariffs. I almost think it was intentional. So the court ruled that the tariffs were illegal and unconstitutional. So the companies that were importing most of the stuff that we buy, because America doesn't really make anything. We don't make stuff. We get stuff made in other countries and we ship it over here because it's cheaper to have a product made 1,000, 10,000, 78,000 miles away, have it assembled there, pay those people for the labor, put it on a boat, sail it over to America, unload it at American ports, and then have it shipped to different stores around the country than to hire an American worker. And we got to keep that in mind. American workers require a lot, but also I like to think that American labor is very skilled and it's worth the price. Unless you're an American consumer and we want everything as cheap as we can possibly get it. So the tariff said if you import a product made, let's say in China or Japan or Singapore or Bangladesh or somewhere, you're going to have to pay a fee, a percentage, an arbitrary percentage at the port in order for the products that you want to sell at your different stores, your Walmarts, your Dollar Tree, Dollar General, et cetera, et cetera. And so these companies were paying at the port because if you don't pay the tariff at the port, then what you are importing stays at the port. So the companies were like, damn it, we'll foot the bill for the tariffs. And then, of course, they would pass the tariff onto the consumer. I hope this is making sense to folks. The courts ruled the tariffs are unconstitutional, and the companies that have been paying the tariffs are entitled to a refund. And as I understand it, some of those refunds have been and are being issued to the companies that had to pay the tariffs. Now, remember, the consumer got screwed. Consumer gets screwed because our sales taxes went up, and the prices of things that we purchased that are imported also went up because we had to absorb the tariffs. The companies are getting refunds for the tariffs, but the consumers are not. Let's say I imported a truck full of baseball bats made in China, and the baseball bat sells for $5. But the tariff on my truck full of baseball bats was $1,000. Now remember, I sell my baseball bats to you for $5. They're imported because they were made in China. They arrive at the port. I got to pay the $1,000 tariff. So now I'm selling you the $5 baseball bat for $7.50, and that's what you're paying for the baseball bat. $7.50. It used to be $5, but because of the tariffs, you're paying $7.50 plus whatever the sales tax is on the bat. Right? So I'm still, as the company that is selling and importing the baseball bats, I'm made whole. Now, I'll pass the cost on to you, the consumer, but ain't no money come out of my pocket because the tariffs that Trump made me pay, I'm passing on to you. So the business is like, damn, this is crazy. We got to raise our prices. But every business has to raise their price. So nobody really got any kind of a price advantage. So people that are importing the baseballs, the baseball mitts, the baseball hats, they all have to pay that same $1,000 tariff at the port. And they're going to raise the prices of the baseballs, the catcher's mitt, and the baseball hats. But the companies that are importing the baseballs, the baseball mitts, and the baseball bats are now getting their $1,000 refunded because they never should have had to pay the tariff in the first place. But we as consumers are still stuck paying $7.50 for the $5 baseball bat. Let me do you one better. Because the price of the baseball bat is no longer $5, it's $7.50 because they were charging us for the tariff. They're still going to keep the baseball bat at $7.50 even though they are being refunded for the tariffs. It was a ploy to get these importers more money. The tariffs were just temporary, so they had a legitimate excuse to raise the prices because they had to recoup the losses from the tariffs. But now all of the prices have been artificially raised. And with that additional profit, plus the refunds of all of their tariffs, these companies have even more money. And who do you think they're going to contribute that money to when it comes to political donations? Republicans. Oh, they're just playing us left and right, are they not? But let's just keep this focused on our level of satisfaction with local government, because at least in the short term, we have some recourse. And I'm going to give you some examples here. We have clearly food deserts. I don't particularly think so because I am known to drive to many different places, and I'll go to many different grocery stores to get everything that I need, because when I shop, I'm very specific, and not every store carries all of the things that I need to buy so I can have food in my house for a week, for 2 weeks, or in case if I'm buying non-perishables, I may have those for a month or more, you see. So I'm fine driving to a bunch of different places, because to me, it's a worthwhile errand, but a lot of folks don't have that luxury. And so when you close a grocery store, it can be a tremendous inconvenience for someone who relied on that grocery store being right there in the neighborhood, that store being very close by. So the Walmart that closed at Midtown, it's been some years. But a lot of people who lived in that neighborhood relied on Midtown, even going back to when it was Capitol Court, a shopping mall that was in the middle of the town. Essentially, 60th and Capitol is almost the geographic dead center of the city and or the county of Milwaukee. And there's a whole neighborhood that exists over there. There's all sorts of shops and stores and amenities. Well, a lot less now than we had a generation or so ago. So when that Walmart closed, it really hit people hard. People that relied on that Walmart for the goods, the services. They had like an eye doctor in there. You can get your prescriptions filled. I don't know if they had a full-service grocery store, but you certainly could buy some frozen food items, etc. So not just the people who relied on that Walmart to provide them the goods that they needed and the services that they needed, the employees lost their jobs. Now, I remember when they closed Midtown, they offered some of the staff at that Walmart jobs at other Walmarts in different parts of the city or the county. Not everybody got a job offer, but a lot of folks did. So a lot of folks were just left unemployed. Well, that spot has sat vacant. It's got to be 10 years if it's a day, right? Didn't they close that Walmart probably around 2016, 2017? Well, the city of Milwaukee has a plan, and so this gets back to your level of satisfaction with local government. Because at some point, the government is supposed to provide favorable conditions for businesses to want to come to Milwaukee, hire Milwaukee folks, pay those Milwaukee folks wages, because when a business is operating, they're a source of tax revenue as well. They're paying property taxes, and they help share the burden and the cost of the amount of money it takes to run a city, like making sure we got police officers and firefighters and filling the potholes, etc. I got a story here that sparked more of my dissatisfaction with local government. They're going to build a library. That Walmart was probably paying several $100,000 a year in property taxes, if not several million. And it was a source of income, maybe not high wages, but a source of income and opportunities for promotion for people that worked there. They also provided, goods and services that people need. And let me be clear, I'm no fan of Walmart, but this has nothing to do with me being a fan of Walmart. It was a place that existed in a neighborhood where there was a population that needed both jobs, goods, and services. Walmart went away. And we can debate the reasons why Walmart went away, but it went away nonetheless. And to replace it with something that is essentially a city-run nonprofit, and I don't know how many people you hire at a library. You obviously got to have a librarian. You got to have somebody that puts the books back on the shelves, and you got to sort all the books. You got to have somebody that plugs in the computers that you have at the library. You probably got to hire somebody whose only job is to say, shh. But not nearly as many people would be hired at a library that would be hired and working at a Walmart. And the library is not going to collect any property tax dollars. And I'm thinking to myself, what a poor decision on behalf of the leaders that are supposed to replace a leaving job and employer with an incoming job and employer. I'm going to take a break, come back, share with you that story, how they're going to turn the former Midtown Walmart into a library. Side note, who goes to libraries? Aren't most of the things you can get in the library on your... I'm tapping my cell phone. This is a cell phone I have. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of these. It was invented, 2021, and it's a cell phone, and it's got a bunch of stuff in it. It's got nudes in it, too. Oh, Xavier has a question. By all means, Xavier, Take the mic. The floor is yours.
Oh, no, I was just raising my hand saying I go to the library still.
For what?
Just to work, peace and quiet. And, occasionally if I want to get a book, I'll go to the library.
Cool. You also you choose to go to the library. But if that library wasn't there, are there other places you can go to work and get some peace and quiet? Are there other places, maybe like your house or maybe like a park on a nice day? Maybe like some dedicated networking or co-working space? And what I'm saying is you would have other places to go. And I would also argue that you go into the library as often or as infrequent as you go is not the best use of tax resources because that library is going to cost us. It's not putting money back into the economy. Now, some would say that library helps solidify the brain trust and people can go there and read more books. Yeah, you also can get a Kindle, though, as well. I'm looking at this from a purely economic standpoint. So let's just say the Walmart that was there, and I really hate using the example of Walmart, but Walmart is an employer. Walmart does pay property taxes. They do contribute in a couple of meaningful ways to the overall economic picture of a city. Replacing that Walmart and the jobs, yes, the wages are low. Maybe the benefits left a lot to be desired. But a library, rather, would be a siphon. It would take more tax dollars to run, manage, maintain the library than a place like Walmart. Because Walmart will be responsible for their own maintenance. Right? If there's a leaky pipe or if they need to replace the roof, Walmart would pay for that. If there's a leaky pipe at the damn library, we, the taxpayers, are going to have to pay for that. And then there might be a day that comes where they say, hey, we need a new referendum in the city of Milwaukee, where we're going to ask you taxpayers, do you want to pay more money to maintain the new libraries that we just built? Take a break, come back, share with you some ways in which you could and or should be maybe satisfied or dissatisfied with local government. I also want to provide you a list of services that we should be getting, damn it. The city of Milwaukee has until 2037 to replace all the lead water pipes in the city. Did you know that? They're not going to make it. They're not going to. So that's a level of dissatisfaction, too. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, where I hope you're at least somewhat satisfied with the show. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You ever see the sign above the highway? The number of people that have been killed on the road? My wife, my son, and my unborn child were killed by a distracted driver. They were more than just a number.
Your phone isn't worth it. Buckle up, phone down. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Do you hear that? And that? And that? Those are the sounds of a healthy and vibrant community. And to this United Way volunteer, nothing sounds better. They're the sounds of children being given greater chances to succeed in school. The sounds of neighbors receiving the support needed to overcome challenges, both big and small. They're the sounds of families gaining access to quality health care and nutritious food for their tables. And they're the sounds of members of our community who've benefited from United Way's financial education programs. See, wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. People working together to respond and growing the good for everyone. United is the way. So join us by getting involved or giving back. Learn more at unitedway.org.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Not really, as City Girl says via YouTube. The libraries are still a reliable place for people to hold trainings, tutoring, or other community interest gatherings. Absolutely, no question about it. But is that a demand that you hear coming from people that are worried about grocery stores closing, potholes not being filled, and an escalating crime rate? If there was a cohort of people that said, we got to have a town hall meeting, we got to discuss our lack of libraries and our lack of places in the city of Milwaukee, but we need more reliable places to hold trainings and tutoring and other community interests and gatherings. Because if there's not a library in your community, I assure you that these things that you mentioned, not really a City Girl, are happening. People are finding other places to do them. But is it worth the expense? Because we're complaining about how expensive everything is and that our tax dollars, they want more of the tax dollars from us, but some of the basic services that we are all entitled to, we are not getting. A library is expensive, especially if you are building one from the ground up. And I would ask, is it worth it to spend our tax dollars on the library? And yes, it's a great place to have the trainings, but how often do you think that they would even take place? You think if they opened up a library, it would be packed to the gills from when it opens on a Monday morning at 8 a.m. until it closes at 6 p.m. during the week, or maybe 7 p.m. on the weekends, 8 p.m. on the weekends? Do you think that there would be such overwhelming demand for whatever the services the library offers? And I also could say that whatever services are offered at a library, remember, we're paying for the library. We're paying for the staff. I think, like, you can get a master's degree in librarianism. Like, it's a real thing. That person might make... Doesn't the city have like a chief library person? I'm not kidding you. There's a chief library person that makes six figures. And I'm not saying their job isn't important, but considering all of the other things that we require to have a safe, livable city, is turning several 100,000 square feet of what used to be retail space, a company that actually hired people and paid wages and paid property taxes, because you remove all of that revenue. What if Walmart and the people that, just using this as an example, I am not endorsing Walmart at all, but let's say Walmart, with all the people they pay, maybe you got 200 people that work there, including the people who are the over-the-road truckers who make the deliveries for the different products, whatever, at Walmart. Let's say Walmart contributed $5 million every single year in employment taxes and income taxes, right? Because you hire people at the Walmart and they pay state income taxes at 6%. And then that money that all the employees are paying, because you know when you get your check, it's a bunch of taxes taken out. Well, one of them is state income taxes. And what if over the course of a year that Walmart collected or paid into state government $5 million in state income taxes, and that's money that we can use, and we get a portion of that back in shared revenue, and that is money that we can use to supplement some of the services that we should be getting and receiving to a high level and degree in the city of Milwaukee. And let's say Walmart sold $50 million worth of goods and services. Again, I'm just using Walmart as an example because they're trying to turn that Walmart, the former Walmart, into a library and they sold $50 million worth of goods at 7.9% sales tax, that's another, what, $3.5 million being contributed to our state budget. Again, Milwaukee would be getting a portion of that money back, and all of that revenue is gone. Now, we still need that revenue. We still would need the money that Walmart would be paying in property taxes, that the employees would be paying in the state government as far as income taxes go, and then the sales taxes on every single good or service sold out of that Walmart. This is money that goes directly into the state budget. We elect state legislators to determine that money that Walmart and other people pay in, where that money goes and supplementing the services that we need. But if you replace that with another nonprofit, you lose all that revenue, and the revenue is going to have to get made up some kind of way. It's probably going to come from you. I would rather it come from private businesses. Of the things that bother me about this town, and I don't just complain about them, I try and bring these issues, these problems to people's attention so we can have some clearer focus on what is diminishing the quality of life in this city. We have a nonprofit mindset here. Everything can be solved by creating another 501c3 organization. And people who live in parts of this town where all you deal with is hopelessness and helplessness and sadness and high levels of crime and despair, a lot of folks want to alleviate that suffering and they want to do something. And one of the ways that they think about how they can make the most impact is, let's start a nonprofit organization where these people can get some help. That's great. But at what point do we have enough? Have we hit critical mass of nonprofits? But whenever there's a problem, it seems there's somebody that wants to start an organization. And good, great. I'm not saying don't start them, but yet another nonprofit to deal with more issues and problems that exist in the city. And nonprofits are going to get more philanthropic dollars, and they're going to get grants. And maybe if they get big enough and if they're successful enough, if they're serving a big enough population. Again, these are all potentially good things, assuming that the nonprofit is so successful that it puts itself out of business because it helped all of the people that needed help. Now you don't need the nonprofit anymore. But do you notice that's not how it works? Nonprofits tend to stay in existence in perpetuity. The YMCA is a nonprofit. I don't know. What do they do? I guess they do some of everything. But have they serviced and satisfied a need to such a level? Oh, we don't need YMCAs anymore because they've serviced all the people that utilize the services. That probably was a bad example. But there's other nonprofits that exist to satisfy a need, to help people become self-sufficient. But for some reason, they never create enough self-sufficiency to where the nonprofits are like, oh, we don't need to be here anymore because we've done our job. And got to keep this in mind now, because all this stuff is cumulative. A nonprofit that gets a building is acquiring a structure that, again, is not paying taxes, but they're utilizing city services, but they're not paying in. A third of the city's land, a little bit more than a third of it, collects no taxes, but are utilizing our services. If you have a church is a good example. And churches acquire property all the time. In fact, there was a story I said I was going to talk about earlier in the week. The Christian Faith Fellowship Church. You know, the church that will deny you membership if you don't have a high enough credit score? Yeah, that one. The only church I've ever been to in my entire life, and I've been to quite a few, as much as y'all may think I'm a heathen. So the only church I've ever seen with an ATM in the church. That's only church I've ever been to. You know, when it's time to give, they call that tithing. The ushers stand by the door so you can't leave. When I was more heavily involved in campaigns, particularly presidential campaigns, a lot of times the surrogates would want to address voters en masse, so we would take them to black churches, because some of these big old mega churches we have in this city, there's 1,000 people in the service, and a lot of church-going folks, we've come to find out, are voters. And the people in your family that go to church also have a lot of influence over other members of that family. So when you have a big old church, a lot of parishioners, we bring surrogates and campaigners and elected officials to those churches to address those parishioners. Well, I brought Congressman Gregory Meeks. He's a New York congressman that represents the Jamaica Queens area, and he was a surrogate on behalf of Gwen Moore when Gwen Moore was running for re-election. So we're sitting in the front row because he was going to address the people at Christian Faith Fellowship, and then after he addressed them, we were going to get the hell out of there. We couldn't stay for the whole service. I know that's rude, but we had things to do. So they did an offering, and I didn't have any cash on me. Remember, I'm only at this church because I'm bringing a surrogate that is there promoting Congresswoman Gwen Moore's reelection. So as they start the whole song and dance of they're about to do the tithing and giving the reasons why you should give to the Lord or whatever the case may be, I quietly got up from my seat because I didn't have any cash on me. That's the last thing I thought about is I'm taking this surrogate from New York to all these different places throughout the city of Milwaukee to help encourage people or tell people to vote for Congresswoman Gwen Moore. I didn't think, let me stop at the ATM so I can get some cash so I can put it in the church bucket at Christian Faith Fellowship where I'm not a member. Because at the time, I don't think my credit score was high enough to be a member. They also make you send in your W-2s. You guys know about this? And they determine your income. And they send you a bill for 10% of your income because to join the church, you have to show you got to show your income, and then they'll just bill you 10% of your income. So anyways, I get up, and it's embarrassing, right? Because they're passing around, and there were buckets. These were not like plates. They're passing around these buckets, and so I get up because I don't have any cash, and I don't want to be embarrassed. And I walk toward the door, and there's two ushers guarding the door, and they didn't move. And now here I am, trapped in a damn church. And I was only there to escort Congressman Gregory Meeks as he was a surrogate for Congresswoman Gwen Moore. I said all that to say this. I don't even know why I said it. You got to have money to go to church. Christian Faith Fellowship now wants to build a housing unit where they say they're going to attract young professionals. I think it's a money grab. So young professionals don't want to live on the northwest side of the city of Milwaukee because no one wants to live on the northwest side of the city of Milwaukee because there's nothing there except, another nonprofit called Christian Faith Fellowship. Take a break, come back. We'll talk to Brenda on the other side. Looking forward to what Brenda has to say. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's the 32nd annual Home Blow birthday party for the kids on Saturday, June 27th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. for kids ages 2 to 13 years old at the Fitzsimmons Boys and Girls Club in Metcalf School. Admission is absolutely free. Shout out to our presenting sponsor, Beta Philanthropies, Inc., and platinum sponsors, the Office of Early Childhood Initiative, Mighty Small Moments, the Brewers Community Foundation, Spectrum, and Westcare. If you'd like to be a sponsor for this year's party, email the Homer Blow Foundation at gmail.com or call 414-248-4954.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family and help out in your community. You've been there for so many others. But when life challenges you, when rising costs, unexpected repairs, medical bills, or simply a rough stretch make it hard to keep up on a limited or low income, you're not alone. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are here for you, working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. If you're struggling with high utility bills, facing a disconnect notice, or dealing with a furnace emergency and your limited or low income isn't enough, support is available. Visit www.heat.help or call 1-800-506-5596 to apply for a hand up.
Adversity on King, we believe taking care of our community starts right here, together. Every day, neighbors step up to donate blood, helping save lives in Milwaukee and beyond. But Versity on King is more than a donor center. It's a place for health education, community connection, and support, especially for families facing conditions like sickle cell disease. When you donate blood, you're not just giving. You're showing up for your community. Visit versity.org/VersityOnKing to learn more or schedule your donation today. Versity on King, rooted in community, powered by hope.
At UW Credit Union, we have best-in-class technology and peopleology. Like if you lose your card, you can stop by in-branch for a same-day replacement, or you can have a new one instantly issued to the app. So whether you prefer interacting with our snappy online interface or our in-person regular faces, UW Credit Union is always here for every you. And whichever you choose, it's the best of both worlds. Join today at uwcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Are you guys satisfied? Dissatisfied with the level of service that you are receiving for the taxes that you are paying here in the city of Milwaukee? Do we need more libraries? I thought we needed more grocery stores. I don't know what we need. Let's talk to Brenda. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Doing all right.
I have two issues.
Okay.
Or concerns. One is, did they do a poll or something of how many people go to the library? Did they talk to the library on 74th Street or the one on Atkinson? It's a desert. A second thing, why won't they do something for the kids? What's wrong with a skating ring? What's wrong with a go-kart over there in the other warehouse? Do something like that. You know, do something that's, but you know what? They're going to take their time to put it up. It's not going to work out. And, of course, it's going to be, you know, like you said, a burden to the city, really. They can get those little stop, bounce, but whatever those things are in the street with no time. But they can't get the streets fixed. It's just, we're going in the wrong direction. And I don't know if the downtown mayor is doing anything really, but we've seen exactly how he fixed the downtown up for the what was it? The caucus, the
convention,
the Republican, whatever it was. He dressed it up really nice.
All right. Now that wasn't him. Now he just basically had to give a handful of permissions because the mayor didn't have a lot to say so in a national convention. I mean, the mayor just kind of laid out the red carpet for some people, but he didn't put together a security plan. He didn't block off the streets. Some Milwaukee police were used, but we actually had more police from other cities coming in here. But I get your point. I get it. And I do want to address some of the things that you said and some of your concerns, and I do appreciate your call, Brenda.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Brenda. Brenda sounded real disappointed. You guys heard... Oh, I love when people bring this up. And I don't want to be disrespectful to people's concerns. I don't want my government being involved in spending money on and creating activities for the kids. You know what our government is supposed to do? Make sure they're educated. Anything outside of that, it is not the government, local government, county government's responsibility for a goddamn skating rink. Because nobody would go. And if they did go, they'd shoot each other. Come on now. You guys are seeing what these kids are doing. It's not like the kids are, let's do a takeover and mess up traffic and then fight a bunch of people and bring guns to the park because we can't roller skate. That has nothing to do with it. Again, we think about what we had back in our day and think, oh, they need to bring that back for these kids. It's going to work very well for them. We also had a level of respect for our parents, for adults, for elders in authority. These young kids do not. What we used to do and what we considered entertainment back 30, 40, 50, however many years ago is not what these kids want to do. And we know that. So why would we engage in a fool's errand? And also, we don't want the city investing in a damn skating rink because it'd be botched up. Because the city, like Brenda said, can't even pave the damn streets. Imagine how they run a skating rink. You would need an investor who is going to come and invest. And we're talking about black kids now. Who's going to invest in black kids and give them entertainment options, knowing the amount of security and safety you'd have to have, the amount of police presence you would have to have. And let's not kid ourselves. If we told a bunch of young people under the age of 18, hey, young people, we're going to build you a skating rink, do you think those young people are going to say, well, we're going to be in our best behavior to make sure that that skating rink stays around forever because, damn it, we love to skate? No, they will not. They'll be thinking of ways of how they're going to tear it up. They might even do more damaging things outside of the skating rink than actually rent roller skates and go around in a circle. We got to be realistic about what we are doing with some of these kids, ladies and gentlemen, are killers. They will kill you. Was it this week or last week where an 11-year-old shot at a city worker? I assure you, an 11-year-old that has the mindset that will shoot at somebody working for the city ain't putting on no roller skates. They'd rather steal a car and do a drive-by. Yeah, I said it. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. He's the voice for the people and the community's connection to change.
So I was shocked that they let an advocate get on the air, because I was like, man, do y'all really want to know what's really going on out here in these streets? I wish I could have a whole show that y'all could listen to every phone call that come to my. I could do a whole show on my voice message. There's people calling, talking about what's happening. Just off the voice message, y'all wouldn't even believe what I got in my voice message. That I'm gonna start a podcast after show. I'm gonna let y'all hear the raw material because we can't even play it on the air. That's how real it is out here. That's why I ain't got time for all y'all all that extra stuff that y'all be trying to do. I'm just happy that we're able to have these great, powerful conversations. But I'm going to always remind y'all that we got to still get out here and get to work.
The Tory Lowe Show, weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Live on YouTube and right here on 1017 The Truth.
My name is Emma. I am 13 years old. 6 years ago, I was injured in a car accident that left me paralyzed from the waist down. Once I completed rehab, my mom applied for a canine companion service dog. Last January, I finally got to meet my service dog, Marcia, and quickly developed a very strong bond. Together, we go to my horseback riding lessons, school band practice, swim meets, and archery classes. Together, we pick vegetables, and we like to cut flowers. I love Marcia. She makes me feel like together we can do anything. I can't imagine life without her. She's a part of the family. We are just one of the thousands of teams Canine Companions has paired together over the past 50 years. With your help, we can continue for another 50. Visit canine.org to see the many ways you can change lives.
I take care of the kids, and I take care of my dad. I take care of things at work. The groceries, the cleanups, the meltdowns, the doctor's visits, the family events, mealtimes, bedtimes. I take care of all the things everyone else needs. But I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Family caregivers are often overloaded. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting. It's no surprise that millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression every year. But help is available because there may only be one you, but you don't have to do it alone. Head to mentalhealthcareworks.org. That's mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve, because mental health care works when you make the call. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988, a message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Doing an assessment of sorts of our levels of satisfaction with local government because we're paying more for it. Some of you received your latest 2026 tax assessments on your homes, and apparently homes in the city of Milwaukee are increasing in some kind of arbitrary or actuarial value because the city of Milwaukee is basing its property tax collection off of the values, these assessed values of your homes, keeping in mind that our property taxes are already just going up, maybe arbitrarily. Sales taxes have gone up as well, and then there's different referenda that have passed. And let me not say too many negative things about the referendum because people voted to pay more money for the services of public education. That's a complicated conversation. We had that chat extensively here and across other shows on 101.7 because there's a sales tax referendum that was coming up, and I think we got outpaced by people who have the money to pay higher property taxes because I think that was they believe that was their contribution to the poor performing schools. Like, oh, I have a little extra money and let me vote yes on the referendum. And there was this other thing that happened where we got outflanked by these people. A lot of folks that live in the neighborhoods that voted at the highest number for the referendum also work for the school system. So yes, I'll vote for the referendum to raise property taxes to feed MPS more money because I'm also voting to give myself a raise, which will offset the increase in my property taxes that I'm voting for. We talked about the Center for Black Excellence in Culture that's in Madison, which still completely defies my comprehension why the city of Madison that has an African-American population that is half the size of a single legislative district, has got a 47,000 square foot campus dedicated to black people, black art, black culture, black music, black performances. And it just doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. And they raise a lot of money from white liberals in Madison because white liberals, when you ask them, especially in Madison, if you ask them to open up their wallets, they'll certainly do so. What a white liberal is more likely to do here in Milwaukee is vote to increase everybody's taxes, but then encourage black people to join a pro-Palestinian protest. It's a very unusual dynamic that exists between the liberals here and the liberals somewhere else. And so if we're trying to sort out what is the best use of our money and how we invest it for the public good, it just seems like there's a high level of dissatisfaction because, we got potholes in the streets. I honestly have never seen so many potholes in my entire life. I now alter my routes of travel. Now, I typically take the same streets, roads, highways, going to 90+% of my destinations, but every now and again, you got to take a different route. Maybe traffic is backed up on the freeway and you got to find a shortcut that can ease your arrival at your destination. If I'm unfamiliar with the streets, I'm unfamiliar with the potholes too. And my wheels are expensive. So when you all break your cars and you bend your rims and you pop your tires because you hit a pothole, you just go pay for it. You don't want. I'm at a loss for words because if the street breaks my car, the street owes me some money. that's how I see it, because you don't want to deal with me if I break something on my car. I just don't like car repairs in general. I want as little automobile maintenance as humanly possible, and I choose my vehicles based on that, because maintaining a vehicle sucks. It's too expensive. It's inconvenient. Mechanics always seem to find extra stuff. All right, Sherwin Hughes, okay. Yeah, you can drop your vehicle off at 12 noon. Okay, we'll have it done by 1 o'clock. We'll call you if we find anything. So just a regular tire rotation and an oil change, and you're going to change out your fluids in your cooling system? Yes. Okay, no problem. Should be done by 1:30. If we find something, we'll call you. Phone ringing at 12:45. Hi, this Sherwin? Yes. Oh, okay. Here's what we found. You need a new strut tower brace. You need some rear shocks. Looks like your rear brake pads are about 10%. Your windshield is cracked. You have no headlights. You have no taillights. And for some reason, your rear bumper is missing. Do you want to go ahead and give us the okay to repair all that? How much is it gonna be? Okay, couple of things with that. How much money do you have? $219. Yeah, it's going to be $47,500.98, and we don't have a payment program. They always find something with your vehicle. So those of you that have had vehicles damaged by the street, you just pay for it? You can't ask the city? Because isn't it their fault? From Milwaukee, new life could be coming to a former Walmart store on Milwaukee's north side. The Midtown Center Walmart near Fond du Lac Avenue and Capitol Drive closed in 2016. According to a project narrative for an upcoming City Plan Commission meeting, officials are considering a 17,000 square foot library branch and community center for the vacant space. The project narrative states the goal is to provide a central location for interaction, education, and shared experiences. The meeting is scheduled for May 18th. I'm not saying that those aren't good things, but is that what the demand is? I thought the demand was to mitigate food deserts and build more grocery stores. I thought the demand was for safer streets and filled potholes. I thought that the priorities and the demands are to reduce and mitigate crime. Now, if they believe that building this library where an employer used to be is going to address any of those issues, then maybe they'll have that conversation at the meeting on May 18th that I assure you I am absolutely positively not going to. Because if they're going to have alder persons doing press conferences and holding all sorts of meetings, and I think the Common Council did some kind of legislative action when it comes to making it harder for grocery stores to close, or they have to give more notice, which I think is categorically unfair, because sometimes if you have a Kroger grocery store, and I think they have a monopoly. That Kroger only used to be in the South. Now Kroger is coming up here, and they bought Roundy's. Roundy's used to be our grocery distributor up north that distributed to the Pick and Saves. There's not really many Pick and Saves anymore. If you notice, they're all metro markets or they're closing. I think that might be a function of this merger with Kroger. Side note, Sherwin Hughes is becoming quite the expert on mergers these days. I'll tell you what, I never thought I had to know as much about mergers as I have to know about them now. So I'm starting to study how complicated they can be. But I thought that the whole point was to get more grocery stores. But also, if you have a Kroger franchise, right? Let's say Kroger is the owner of your metro market that you manage and own, or you're a franchisee. The city of Milwaukee says you have to give them either 30 or 60 days notice before you close a grocery store, because the city, being hyper aware of food deserts, wants to have that lead time, that advance notice, so they can figure out how they're going to fill the void that will be created by the grocery store closing. Does that make sense to you? So if Kroger / a Metro Market somewhere is going to close, legally via city ordinance, they have to let the city of Milwaukee know 60 or 30 days prior to their closure so the city can make plans to bring in another grocery store or whatever. Sometimes the owner of that franchise won't know until the night before that they're being shut down. If Kroger wants to sever ties with franchisee grocery store owners in other parts of the country, Kroger is not going to say, oh, well, we have to give this particular grocery store franchisee and operator in Milwaukee 60 days notice because the Common Council said so. And that's not going to happen. So Kroger's going to say, hey, Milwaukee Metro Market, you got to close on Friday. We're going to stop distributing to you because we're going to cut you off of our distribution list. Now that operator is in trouble with the city. And the city they can't even do anything. If I'm a franchisee of a grocery store and I'm connected to Kroger, and Kroger called me last night at 11:30, yeah, Sherwin, we're gonna shut you down, starting on Monday. That's the only notice I can give to the city. So what's the city gonna do? Sue me? My franchisor cut me off, and they just told me last night, but now I'm automatically in violation of a city ordinance. We also have a lot of members of the Common Council, and they're really nice people. Some of them are. They actually are nice people, but a lot of them don't know what they're doing. They don't know anything about business. But I don't think we want them to know anything about business because they shouldn't be in the business of business when you are allocating tax dollars based on need. Many residents mistakenly believe that deteriorating services are simply, quote, normal urban problems. In reality, many quality of life failures involve deferred maintenance, misallocated budgets, weak political accountability, which we have a lot of here, uneven service distribution, and failure to enforce existing laws. Cities compete for residents, businesses, and investment. When basic services decline long enough, middle-income residents often leave, shrinking that tax base and further accelerating urban decline. Let me just give you a little brief snapshot into what I do, especially when it comes to the output of this radio program that we do weekdays from 9 a.m. until noon. It is to identify social problems and issues, to discuss them thoroughly, to potentially give some history of how we got here, and then to figure out remedies and solutions in an objective way. And the objective part can be difficult because we live here and we have an emotional connection to this place. This is where we grew up. This is where we have our memories, right? This is where some of y'all met your spouses and you had your families here, right? So it's this emotional connection to this place, but at the same time, we can't get too emotional about some of the solutions because they require very, very tough decisions. And Milwaukee, for the most part, is a relatively small town. I know we have big city amenities, but everybody knows everybody, or I know somebody you went to school with, or I dated your wife, you know, the regular stuff. And so when we engage with our elected officials, and a lot of whom, let me be clear, are very, very nice people. A lot of them they're just peaches. They really are sweethearts. But we have an obligation as a body politic, as voters, as constituents, as residents, and as taxpayers to say, hey, these are services that we need improved upon because life is suffering. People are suffering. Our quality of life has eroded. It was different in the 1960s or 70s, people will say, and things have just gone downhill. So that's when we have to put on this other hat. We as residents and constituents and taxpayers will hold those elected officials accountable. And I have zero problem doing that because that is what I am supposed to do. And if I'm not doing that, I'm not doing my job as a member of the media. What happens is this. If I say, hey, alderman, alderwoman, or common council, y'all are screwing up all of these things because I hear from your constituents, quite honestly, more than you do, and I try and hold them accountable. You know what they do? Instead of saying, oh, snap, Sherwin, we need to work on that. You're right. We should have a common council meeting to discuss, I don't know, food deserts, filling the potholes, removing the snow, whatever it is. Instead of them saying, oh, wow, we're going to take that guidance and we're going to figure something out to satisfy this problem that residents and constituents and taxpayers are complaining about. Instead, they get mad at me. Sherwin, why would you bring that up? Why would you bring up potholes That's disrespectful. And then guess what happens? Then now they're removing me from their press release list. So when they are doing things, they don't tell me because they get mad at me because I brought up a legitimate concern that they know that they are ignoring. And I get it from their perspective. Doesn't make it right, but I get it. There's a tremendous amount of mistrust of our elected officials for obvious reasons. They may not want discussed publicly where they are failing and ignoring problems because they're going to have to answer for their lack of progress on those issues because that is what they ran on to get elected. They got elected. They didn't rectify the issue. And they get mad at me for bringing it up because they're going to have to be accountable. Nobody wants to be accountable. In general, it seems in American society, whenever something happens, it's got to be somebody else's fault. Sherwin, why did you do that? Well, because slavery. Somebody else made me do it. Sherwin, why did you do that? Because Joe Biden was president and Joe Biden messed up the economy. That's why we don't get anywhere. And the worst situation that we can have, and it seems like we're moving in this direction, elected officials decide amongst themselves what they're going to do instead of taking guidance from constituents. And one example of that could be they sure are investing a lot in downtown, and I can give you reasons why they do that. But 7 out of 10 people will remark and note that there needs to be similar kinds of investment or at least similar levels of attention being paid to where people actually live in neighborhoods. It's easy to dump several $1 million downtown. It's easy. It's much more difficult, but would pay higher dividends if you invested that kind of money. And let's just say improving the business district that's on Center Street. Center Street between, do I start at 27th Street? You got a library right there on the corner. They got to do something about that intersection. Now they won't because you have a whole bunch of diagonal streets that all kind of meet up right there. But that intersection of 27th Street, Fond du Lac, and Center, death trap. Another intersection is Appleton. No, not Appleton. Lisbon, Center Street, and 60th Street. It's like 17 stoplights. Dangerous. At least they paved some of the potholes. They filled some of them in, but it's just horrendous. Let's see what time is it. I gotta take a break. Sandra, hold on. I'm gonna come to you. I gotta take this little break. Come back. Speak to Sandra. These elected officials they're deciding amongst themselves, and they're like, "Hey, let's put a whole bunch of money downtown," because they're coming up with that idea between all of them, and also, business interests downtown are known to contribute to the campaigns. And if you were doing the bidding of business interests downtown, they can provide some of the elected officials the campaign dollars that they need to get reelected at the same time ignoring the people. Because we also did a poll question, I don't know, last week or the week before. I asked how many of you contribute to political campaigns. Something like 95% of you don't. Because you think that you shouldn't have to purchase your democracy. Well, you do, because if you don't, somebody else is. And the people that buy the democracy get the democracy to work for them. Let's pause that thought, take a break, come back, talk to Sandra. If you want to be like Sandra, all you got to do is be a strong black woman. And if you want to be like her in other ways, call 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth, Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family and help out in your community. You've been there for so many others. But when life challenges you, when rising costs, unexpected repairs, medical bills, or simply a rough stretch make it hard to keep up on a limited or low income, you're not alone. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are here for you, working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. If you're struggling with high utility bills, facing a disconnect notice, or dealing with a furnace emergency and your limited or low income isn't enough, support is available. Visit www.heat.help or call 1-800-506-5596 to apply for a hand up.
I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flysshf.org and ask for an application.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you. From start to furnished, UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
After an accident, don't wait to get the help you need. Call Gruber Law Offices first. There is no fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Prizes, exclusive experiences, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting truthcontests.com. That's truthcontests.com.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm going to give you a list of services that we are supposed to be receiving with the taxes that we pay. A lot of residents may be unaware of these. Because if I'm asking you via the YouTube poll how satisfied you are with the service delivery, I probably should give you a full list of what we should be receiving. And some of these were even a shock to me. I thought some of this stuff was the responsibility of the residents, but the city technically should be providing these services. You guys know how I feel about trash. And I clean up garbage in front of my house. It makes me very angry that I have to do that because, like, why are people so disgusting? There's not even a plausible excuse for it. And I say that because if you go into another neighborhood, they don't throw garbage on the ground. It's just so disrespectful. It's like I want to go to their houses and throw garbage in front of their house, see how they like it. They probably wouldn't care. Let's talk to someone who does care. Hello, Sandra. How are you?
I'm just fine. How are you doing today?
I'm not sure. At least it's Friday. So that's not.
Yeah, you get the weekend.
That's right. Mother's
That'd
Day
be nice. Hey.
Happy Mother's Day, Sandra. Happy early Mother's Day. You're a wonderful mother.
Thank you. And I retired in 2006. So I had plenty of time to relax and call you now, and Ken and all. But what I want to say, now you were talking about the conditions of the city.
Yes.
And the tax dollars, to fix the city. But I think the problem is, and it's been going on a long time because before Barrett left, he said Milwaukee was going to be Detroit. So he knew what all they were going to slice out of this city to make it a wreck, a train wreck. And so that's what makes me so mad with them, because it's these politicians. They get together. They want what they want. They get a pension. Out of pension, they get the health insurance. And Robert Boss, he had $1 million staff. See, a lot of people, we don't read, we don't get into politics like we should. We don't even know that. What he's doing, $1 million staff, he got good health insurance, and where is Walker? Where is Paul Ryan and Sheriff Clark? They ran over to Washington, D.C. to help Trump win. You don't hear nothing from them, not even a peep. But anyways, now the conditions of the city, I've been here all my life. I told you I'm 77. It was never like this. Never. And people was not dumping trash because we would pick up the bottles and we would get money off the bottles. Our parents didn't give us no money. They took care of us. But as far as my dad gave me $1 for an allowance. And we did not steal. And definitely did not kill. And a lot of times the kids would do flips and everything else. I mean, we just had fun with each other. But I just get so sick of seeing the city routed out by politicians. But now I'm going to say this. Now they're buying a lot of the property because I always get letters and phone calls to buy my property. And I'm on 27th, the street they get the most beat down. And they want the property. So something is going on. They're trying to buy all this property in the city, and I heard a lot of them trying to buy, rich people trying to buy the lands, do the planting of our foods and stuff like that. So something is going on where they want to steal back this city. And it's going to bloom. It's going to bloom the way they want because it's going to be money people that move in. But what do you think?
Was there a specific question in there? I think. What do I think?
Yeah,
I think
the question is.
You said they're trying to.
Do you think?
Condense it down for me so I can actually give you an answer.
Real estate.
Okay. What
okay,
about?
Real estate brokers are coming in and buying up all the property.
Yes.
So, and where I am is very empty. There's no houses. It's empty lots because people always say neighborhood. I have no neighborhood because it's empty and boarded up houses. But anyways, do you think it's something going on with the real estate? Because I get the calls all the time.
They want to purchase your property so they can rent it because there's more income to be made by renting properties than by you being a homeowner. And a lot of folks, so as an example, you're retired, you might want to move out of state. You might want to move to where there's no state income taxes on your pension. So offering you hopefully a fair price for your home should meet a need that you may have in case you want to sell. I don't think that's a part of some grand conspiracy because a lot of folks do want to move. They want to downsize, like they live in the house they raise their kids in. Their nest is empty. All the kids are gone. They don't need 4 or 5 bedrooms no more. They also don't need the high property taxes they might be paying in that big house they bought to raise their family. So if somebody wants to offer you money for your house and you want to leave the neighborhood anyway, I don't see that as being sinister. Because at the end of the day, if you don't want to sell, you can just say no to the offers. It's not like people are being forced to sell their homes. They're offering you like, hey, if you want to sell your house, we're going to give you probably a lowball offer. But for some people, it reduces the headache of having to get a real estate broker and then you got to clean the house up and you got to do open houses and you got to do showings and you got to pay all these commissions and stuff. So I don't see that as something negative because at the end of the day, if you don't want to sell your house, you don't have to.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the black community because a lot of them, they moved them out to Brown Deer. So I was just thinking if it's something to get us out of here and then they could live it up. You know what I mean? But that's what I had to, really say.
All right. Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate your call.
Okay.
All
bye.
Right, bye-bye. I don't know how many people they're, quote, unquote, moving out to Brown Deer unless they are, and they might be, building a low-income housing development in Brown Deer, and then they would offer additional Section 8 opportunities elsewhere. I know folks want to get the hell out of the central city. And if people can use their Section 8 voucher somewhere else, well, then great. We do have a housing shortage. And I also don't want people to automatically think there's sinister motives because we're building more affordable housing units. We need them because housing has gotten insanely expensive. And if your housing expenses continue to go up, I'm talking about rent, I'm talking about mortgages because interest rates are very, very high, you will have a homelessness problem. Homelessness is a very unique phenomenon because it is a negative social indicator that impacts one particular group more than others, and why there's not as much dedication to homelessness as there should be, because homeless people are two things: victims and perpetrators of crime. More often victims but they can be perpetrators of crime too. Like just being unhoused just diminishes your life chances dramatically. Do you know who the most unhoused demographic is in the United States of America and why there's not a level of urgency that there should be, including the number of veterans that are unhoused? Black men are 36% of the unhoused in America. And no one has any urgency. Brenda called in earlier, and why don't they build skating rinks for the kids? You guys know how I feel about that. I don't want the government being involved in creating activities for the kids. That's a parent's responsibility. We can outsource some things to the government, but not taking care of your kids. You shouldn't have had them. Can we admit that? Can we admit that some of you regret having them? Because some of you hate your kids. And I get it. We hate them too. But don't put us on the hook to find things for your kids to do because you hate them. We hate them more, actually. You hate them a little bit. We hate them a lot because some of your kids shoot people. Yeah, don't build skating rinks because they would do everything but skate. All right, what time is it? I got to take another break. These breaks come up quick. When I come back, what to know about a firm behind a disputed Milwaukee housing project. Oh, and I need to give you guys a list of city services. Let me do a couple, then we'll go to break. In the category of streets and transportation, we know that our tax dollars are supposed to go toward pothole repair, snow removal, traffic lights, and street resurfacing, but cities are also responsible for, when they collect your tax dollars, storm drain cleaning, alley maintenance, sidewalk leveling, and trip hazard repair. You got some sidewalks where the concrete's sticking straight up in the air like an erection. Curb replacement, crosswalk repainting, street signs and street sign visibility, dead traffic signal response times, 88 curb ramps, tree root damage repair, bus shelter maintenance, illegal dumping cleanup near roadways, street sweeping frequency, ice control on bridges and hills. Sanitation and environmental health. For our tax dollars, we're supposed to get bulk item collection, which we do, illegal dumping enforcement, which we have, rodent control, mosquito abatement, weed and vacant lot maintenance, graffiti removal, public trash can servicing, recycling education, hazardous waste disposal events, leaf collection, abandoned tire removal, sewage overflow protection, odor control enforcement. What? Dead animal removal. Neglected sanitation in cities in which taxpayers are footing the bill for the aforementioned services include asthma, pest infestations, insurance costs, property devaluation, and residents out-migration. Take a break, come back, talk to Miss Linda on the other side. Is this Miss Shack or a different person?
I'm not sure who you're referring to.
Who is this?
Good morning, Professor.
Hold on, Linda. That's Linda, Miss Shack. Just want to make sure it wasn't another Linda. Hang on, Shack. We're going to take a break, come back, talk to you. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
honest, direct, and always thought-provoking.
Even if the system don't make sense anymore. And that's the part we got to be honest about. Education is not a theory. It's not a title. It's not a category. It's a student, it's a teacher, it's a classroom, and there's learning. Everything, everybody else, including the superintendent herself, are secondary. Assistant superintendents, or whatever the heck you call them, deputy, chief of school, everybody, they are secondary if a child's not learning. The student is the number one thing there. So if we've reached the point where the only way to defend the system is to argue that keeping teachers out of the classroom is essential to education, then we're not just confused. We backwards. And when policy, practice, priorities, and money collide like that, there's only one word for all of this: nonsensical.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 to 6, live on YouTube and broadcasting on 1017 The Truth.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, may I ask a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, we have a dog.
Great. Do you have a pool outside?
Nope, just a big old backyard.
Nice. Another question. Are there any unlocked guns in the home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, let's just talk about what we can bring for dessert.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Eight 833-212-1017, asking you your level of satisfaction with the level of services we are receiving from the city in which we live in. Really, it's just local government altogether. Are you satisfied with what you're receiving, considering the increases in our taxes? And some of the tax increases are self-inflicted because we voted on a tax increase to give more money to the schools. And I don't know, are we receiving a good return on our investment? And property taxes are very important because if people are unable to afford them, let's say incomes are not going up and wages are not going up, and imagine a world in which more people are aging out and they're retiring and their incomes are fixed. And let's assume that people had great pensions from when they worked at some of the manufacturing plants and some of the breweries, et cetera, but their incomes are fixed. They're doing okay, but they're not making nearly as much money in retirement as they were making when they were working. But if your property taxes continue to go up and the cost of everything else is going up, food, entertainment costs, of course, are going up. You want to go see a movie or something. Tariffs have made goods very expensive. There's, of course, inflation, and you cannot afford your rising property taxes. The city can take your house. There's a whole list of tax foreclosed properties that you can go and buy. And sometimes it's just the cost of the arrearages of the taxes, because a lot of folks are getting kicked out of their homes, getting evicted, not by the bank, but by the city of Milwaukee itself. Now we can talk to you, Linda. What's on your mind today?
Good morning, Professor. Good morning, good Karma Brand, and good morning to all the beautiful, good-hearted, black and white people of Milwaukee and America, for real.
Linda,
Hey, Sharon.
I'm going to need you to modify your opening statement. Stop saying good mornings and good Karma Brands because they sold us.
Oh, geez, yeah. So, Sherwin, I am, Jesus, been learning so much, but one thing that I am so perplexed by is, okay, with the redistricting mapping, and the devastation that brings to the black community and I guess the black voting power. But what I don't understand is it's not taking our vote away, is it? Because even though, say, they redistrict the map into a Republican representative, because I'm trying to, regurgitate according to my understanding. So that person that lives in that district and been voting a black representative for years will have to move into that black representative district, or
no?
When they go to the voting booth, will that black representative be on the ballot at all? I don't understand. How is this playing out? Help me. I'm in the back of the room on this subject.
All right, so there are some southern states that are taking liberties to redraw their state legislative maps and also their congressional maps, because at one point in time, these states drew maps based on race. Let's say you have 500,000 black people that live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But the way the maps were drawn prior to the Voting Rights Act, that city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, was drawn in a way where smaller towns and rural areas outside of Baton Rouge that have a larger percentage of Republican voters, Baton Rouge was included in the drawn map of a district that may include rural towns that are more Republican. So instead of Baton Rouge, Louisiana having a black congressional district representing the 500,000 African Americans in Louisiana, they would cut that district into like different bits and pieces so that black vote of 500,000 would be diluted. In Wisconsin, we do not have that to worry about, because who ultimately is making the determinations about our maps is a very liberal, a 5-2 liberal state Supreme Court. And the Republicans in our legislature are soon to be in the minority. This is a problem for southern states that had to redraw their maps because they were, in fact, racially discriminating. We have a level of protection from that here. So let's not create a problem in Wisconsin where there isn't one. Is it a problem in other states? 100% absolutely. But we have way too much to worry about in Milwaukee for me to be worried about what's happening in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now, that's not saying that we shouldn't be concerned about it, but are you going to move to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and embark on a 10-year campaign to make sure that you have fair maps in a city and a state you don't live in? Probably not. Let's focus on what we have here. But we're actually okay here in Wisconsin, and we have got protections for our majority legislative maps for the time being. So we're good. Don't worry about it.
And I appreciate that as far as where I stand in Wisconsin, because that's exactly my concern. Can those redistricting strategies affect where I presently live? And thank you for that enlightenment and that lesson. But I think that we should all be, concerned about what's going on in other black districts, even though, it may not, directly affect us, but we know that this racist system is a coup, and it's a corporation and organization. So it doesn't matter what state you're in, because the strategy is the same behind everything.
But Linda, we can't do everything. I think that's why we end up getting nothing done, because we see a problem that exists somewhere else. Like, let's say there's police brutality in Portland, Oregon. Are we going to pack up and move from Milwaukee to go to Portland, Oregon because a cop punched a black woman in the face? We're not going to do that. We should be worried about police brutality right here where we live, and we can mitigate the problem where we're at, because I trust people that live in those other cities and states to be able to handle their own problems. I could also say that maybe in Seattle, Washington, black businesses are not getting enough support from the black community. Are we going to leave the city of Milwaukee and go out to Seattle, Washington and support their black businesses? No. That's something for the black community in Seattle, Washington to be able to take care of, because they're best equipped to do that. But when we look at problems that are happening all over the place and don't focus on what's going on at home, then nothing gets done at home. Because I'll assure you with this, the people in Seattle, Washington don't give a frog's fat fanny about black businesses here in the city of Milwaukee, so why should we care about what's going on out there? Look, I get it, but you can't help everybody all the time. Start with fixing what's wrong in your own backyard.
That's true. That's true. But I will say this, that you know that black people as a people are resilient. Come on now. We survived slavery, and we're going to survive this. Hello. Ain't no stopping us now. Because guess what? We're smarter. We're stronger, more resilient, more confident. We're more educated. And I think that that's the problem, too, that not enough young people are going into politics and changing policies and laws, man. But guess what? It's going to happen now. It's going to happen now, for real. See you later, Sherwin. Have a great weekend and enjoy your mother.
All right, then. You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, now then, Linda. Can I, for a moment, exert and stand on and be proud of my individuality? I am not, have never been, and don't ever want to be all black people. And I think it's terribly unfair that because we were a created racial category and created intentionally to separate us from them, that all black people are in this together. Because I'm not going to make up excuses for why some black people do what they do, why they make the choices they make, why they choose to inflict harm on people in our community. Like, I'm not a part of them, nor am I one of those people like, oh, you did something really bad, you harmed a member of your community, let me come and help you, because that's a cry for help that you shot 3 people this weekend. No, I don't want to have anything to do with y'all, because other races have no problem. And this is an internal culture thing. White folks tell us that we need to be self-sufficient and help all the other black people. We live in communities where everybody should be helping everybody. But if that's not going to be the case, don't put the onus on me when black people do stupid stuff. I don't want to take ownership of what the hell they do. Just like if there's a white person that voted for Kamala Harris, they don't make up excuses for the white people that voted for Trump. They separate themselves from them. It is perfectly okay to have dividing lines between you and other people of your ilk, your culture, your race, your ethnicity that do horrible things. I don't want to be associated with them. I share a skin color with those folks, and I had nothing to do with that. It's just happenstance we both are black folk. So, no, I don't, oh, we got to help all the black people. You can't, because some black people that you want to help will kill you. Do you understand that? They'll kill you. And I don't want to die that way. Like, oh, I want to go and help all these people. They're more likely to rob me and steal my vehicle than accept my help and advice. And plus, why should they accept my help anyway? I think a lot of us see some of the sad conditions that exist amongst our people, amongst other blacks, and we want to help them. We have no credibility with them. And they didn't even ask for our help, and they probably wouldn't follow our direction anyway, because just because we're black doesn't mean we're all one big happy family. So that's way too much responsibility, because then you can diminish whatever good work I'm doing and say, oh, Sherwin, you're clearly not doing enough because there were 14 homicides last month. Why didn't you fix those homicides? Because I can't. I got to be happy I wasn't the 15th victim. So I'm not going to take responsibility for all the stuff that black folks do. Asian people don't take all the responsibility for all the stuff that Asian do. Latino and Hispanic people, talk about them. Some of them hate each other. Some of them voted for Trump so that other Latinos and Hispanics will get out of the country that they're all in illegally. Ain't that crazy? So no, don't put me in the bucket of, oh, I got to help every single body. That's more like women have that attitude. No shade against women, but y'all think you can help everybody? It'll kill you. Thinking you can help everybody. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
I won tickets last week on your show to see The Wiz. I just wanted to call and say thank you and say I appreciate you. I appreciate the show. I appreciate the station. That was a core memory that was made last night. The Wiz was an amazing performance.
We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017. Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family and help out in your community. You've been there for so many others. But when life challenges you, when rising costs, unexpected repairs, medical bills, or simply a rough stretch make it hard to keep up on a limited or low income, you're not alone. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are here for you, working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. If you're struggling with high utility bills, facing a disconnect notice, or dealing with a furnace emergency and your limited or low income isn't enough, support is available. Visit www.heat.help or call 1-800-506-5596 to apply for a hand up.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Don't miss one of Milwaukee's favorite summer traditions, the U-Path Ride for Arts, presented by Miller Lite, returns Sunday, May 31st. Ride a fully closed 20-mile course across the Hone Bridge with incredible lakefront views. Kids 12 and under ride free thanks to the Brewers Community Foundation. All in support of Southeastern Wisconsin performing arts. 7 a.m. start, finish at UPath Fest on Summerfest grounds. Register today at upathride.org. That's UPAFRIDE.org.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
There are additional services that the city of Milwaukee is supposed to provide us, and I want to share these services with you because we technically are paying for them. And when I say we're paying for them, like there's whole floors of buildings and cubicles and people making good money and getting fat pensions that are in charge of delivering these services. And a lot of us are completely unaware of them. And so if I am asking you to rate your level of satisfaction with the services that you are receiving for the taxes you are paying, I probably should let you know what all the services are. Because as I was going through the list, I was a little shocked at some of the services we're supposed to be receiving. There's all these different categories. So the first category is core public services residents commonly expect. Then you have sanitation and environmental health services. I went through these lists already. And then we have another set of services, code enforcement and property standards. Many residents do not realize that they pay for inspectors. Cities fund vacant property inspections, landlord code enforcement, building safety inspections, dangerous structure monitoring, noise ordinance enforcement, property maintenance citations, illegal rooming house investigations, air quality complaints. When was the last time you complained about the air quality? Y'all remember a few years ago when it smelled like smoke because Canada was on fire? Water intrusion investigations, fire code inspections, bed bug complaint investigations. Why these matter? Weak enforcement of the previously mentioned causes neighborhood decline, slumlord expansion. We don't have a problem with either of those in Milwaukee, do we? Do we have a problem with neighborhood decline and slumlord expansion? Lower home values, resident frustration, population loss. To Sandra's point, because I receive a lot of the spam text messages, spam phone calls, and I probably get, no exaggeration, at least 2 letters a week from some company or from some person disguised as a hedge funds disguised. Hey, Sherwin, we want to offer you X amount of dollars to buy your property. Some of the offers are okay. They're not bad. You know what I mean? But I don't take them because I love where I live. And where in the hell am I going? I ain't moving nowhere. If the quality of life is beginning to deteriorate in the city of Milwaukee, now it depends on who you are, where you live, and your tolerance for deterioration, you might accept one of those offers of one of these fly-by-night hedge fund, never heard of them before companies that will give you a cash out offer for your house. To that extent, that could be something sinister, because if you don't rectify the problems, and these hedge funds, they know it. They know that in certain neighborhoods, some people are dying to get out. They don't want to go through all the hassle of finding a realtor. Realtors are former strippers and people that just got GEDs. You ever notice that's not nice to say that, but like a lot of strippers, when they want to clean their lives up, like when they turn 40, they can't be on the pole anymore. They're, I'm going to sell real estate. Weak neighborhood enforcement of the aforementioned neighborhood decline, slumlord expansion, lower home values because they can lowball you for your house, resident frustration, and population loss. A credible complaint example would be, quote, residents are paying for housing and safety enforcement, yet repeat nuisance properties continue operating without meaningful intervention. Do you believe for what you are paying in associated taxes and fees, you are getting quality services delivered by the city of Milwaukee? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Come in with straight truth.
If you acted up, if you were out here doing any kind of foolishness or just something that people know would make your family's name look bad, your neighbor from down the street, if they see the son or daughter, be like, what are you doing? They gonna call you out. They gonna let you know that they saw you, and then they gonna tell you, come here. Now you know I'm gonna tell your daddy.
That part.
There are a lot of times when people are new to an area, they don't know where to plug in. And anybody who plugs in the 101.7 The Truth and listen to you and Dame and Truth Nation would know that there is a significant public outcry when violence happens in our community. Don't worry about the outcry if you're not listening to the right people. So I would encourage her to tune in to 101.7 The Truth and listen to you guys, Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris, Tori Lowe, and definitely Sherwin Hughes every day.
Watch all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows by subscribing to 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I had so many questions. I didn't even know that it was cancer. Now I do. It is cancer. Blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
I take care of the kids, and I take care of my dad. I take care of things at work. The groceries, the cleanups, the meltdowns, the doctor's visits, the family events, mealtimes, bedtimes. I take care of all the things everyone else needs. but I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Family caregivers are often overloaded. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting. It's no surprise that millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression every year. But help is available, because there may only be one you, but you don't have to do it alone. Head to mentalhealthcareworks.org. That's mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve, because mental health care works when you make the call. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988, a message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And for all of you being rude and inquiring as to what I'm wearing on my head, you're a bunch of racists. It be your own people sometimes. It be your own people. I don't understand why it's any business of anybody what I'm wearing on my head. Even the producers in the producer studio. So y'all just are unfair. Speaking of unfair, is it unfair that the city of Milwaukee is collecting more and more tax dollars from us and we are not getting the proper service delivery? And this is a worthwhile conversation because, we got a bunch of elections coming up. I spoke with one of the candidates running for governor last night. It was an off-the-record conversation, so I'm not going to disclose who the candidate was nor the details of the conversation, but they were, I guess, checking in with me because they heard of the sale of 1017 The Truth, and they were looking for more information about that. I mean, amongst other things they wanted to know. Because I think that this particular candidate wants to know, where do I go if I want to spend money on advertising, or if I want to, visit one of the talk shows, who am I going to be going to see? In the short term, I don't know. I guess let me do a segment here, or a portion of one, on what is happening with the sale of The Truth to the Milwaukee Black Media Trust, because I don't want to keep those of you that deserve information in the dark. Those of you that have supported us, you have participated, you've come to our events, you've come to our Beyond the Mic events, our Truth Family Fest, you've come to our Truth Summits, you've said hello to us at Juneteenth Day, you've come to our live remote broadcast from all over the place. First, thank you. Allowing 1017 The Truth to flourish the way it has in 5 years has been a remarkable experience. And for your support of all of us, those of us that are here now, and those of us that I guess are here in spirit, because some hosts and producers are no longer employed with the company. Words can barely express how much we appreciate you, so I have to say that. And so there's an obligation that I have to those of you that choose to listen to us. Y'all could be doing a whole bunch of other stuff with your time, and on some days you probably should be, but you listen to us. Thank you. And so we owe you. Quite honestly, our success is because of you, because if you all weren't there, if you all weren't listening and calling and texting and participating, there would be no truth whatsoever. And so I want to be honest with you all and level with you all, because whatever the next version looks like, we're still going to need you. And I don't want to withhold information from you or sell you short, because the commitment that you all have had to us reinforces the commitment that we have to you. And we are one big community. We're one big dysfunctional, crazy family. So here's what I know so far. 1017 The Truth, the brand, was sold. And as I understand it, it was sold intact. With the hosts, with the producers, with our digital content, our YouTube, our Instagram, our TikTok, our Facebook pages, fans, and followers, okay? So there was a purchase agreement. There are some contingencies. I am not fully aware of what those contingencies are, but they exist. That is literally all I know. I don't know what my new role will be. I am unclear if I am going to have a role. I am unclear as to how much say-so I'm going to have over said role. I literally do not know. There's going to be a new facility built where 1017 The Truth, whatever it looks like, whoever is employed by 1017 The Truth at this new entity is going to be under the same roof and essentially under the same management as the Milwaukee Courier newspaper and WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM. We are all going to be under one roof. Personally, I have issue with that. One issue in particular, and a whole bunch of smaller issues that I come to find out that those who are executors of the trust don't care about. And here's the thing, they don't have to. But I do. I select who I want to support for political office because I have the right to do that. And if I want to talk about the person that I select or support for political office, I reserve the right. And other people will select a different candidate as they reserve the right to do so as well. The issue that I have is with a former colleague who didn't just burn a bridge. They obliterated the ashes. And they took their time on their coveted platform, because those of us that have shows know that this is a very rare opportunity. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with having a microphone and some kind of audience willing to listen to you. And they took their coveted platform that should be used to disseminate information that can help us, that can inform us, that can help move us forward, give us the information that we need, and give us, especially as Black people, information that has oftentimes been kept from us. They took their platform, where they should be doing those aforementioned things, to try to personally humiliate me. Lie after lie, desecration after desecration, nonstop. And the person who helped participate and facilitate that attempted humiliation of me is now a managing partner in this new trust. Do you understand my trepidation? Now, I need you to stick with me for a second now, Truth Nation. I right now do not feel comfortable having to work in an environment where the level of disrespect that I endured is completely and totally overlooked. And the people that are going to be a part of this new endeavor simply brushed it under the rug, including the people that helped facilitate the disrespect in the first place. Now, let me just give you my honest opinion. That does not give me warm and fuzzy feelings about joining this new trust, because let me be abundantly clear, because I don't think that I have been clear enough with the people I have been talking to. I don't have to do it. I don't have to go over to where I'm supposed to be going over to, or whatever the new structure is going to look like, first and foremost, because they can't even give me any answers. I just want to inform you all, because you all are the most important piece of this, and wherever I go and whatever I do, you will remain the most important piece of this. You won't be relegated to a bullet point on an outline or a talking point or a part of a profit and loss statement. You are my friends. You are my family. You are my community. My obligation is to you. This has to be understood, because they're not getting it any other way. Because when I try to tell them, they're dismissing all of my complaints and my concerns. And if I have complaints and concerns, and if I don't feel happy, I'm going to go where I feel happy. You understand it? I was in a meeting yesterday where a Caucasian man had the audacity to yell at me in a meeting in which my role was to be discussed and what I was going to be doing. He tried to belittle me. I don't know why y'all think you can get away with disrespecting me. And this is in a meeting where they're trying to convince me that, oh, Sherwin, you have to come on over and be a part of the new trust. This white man is going to yell at me, raise his voice at me, and tell me about how much he knows about radio, and he knows radio more than me, but he don't know nothing about us, Milwaukee, our community, and how we deliver information. And I've dealt with that before, and it's a very uncomfortable situation. People knew that the meeting got a little uncomfortable, and then I received a couple of phone calls later on that evening, because for the Black Media Trust is being sold, essentially, like the roles and responsibilities are being sold by an old white dude that I have no interest in working with or working for at all, because I don't want to. And the fact that he disrespected me so much, at the same time, he's trying to convince me that this is where I need to be while he is raising his voice at me, is a bit of a problem. And so when I talked to another person that was in the room, who was supposed to be the general manager of this whole operation, and I said, that was very disrespectful that this man that I don't know is going to yell at me and raise my voice. Man, let me be clear. I still work for Good Karma Brands. Dude was in our conference room here. Like, he came to my house and was yelling at me. That's very, very disrespectful. I don't tolerate disrespect because, again, I'm not one of those people that does tolerate it. Some people do. And maybe he thought he was talking to somebody that would tolerate his disrespect. I'm just not the one. And so when I shared with another African American that also should be hyper aware and sensitive to the disrespect that we endure as Black people, he basically said, "Oh, Sherwin, calm down, you overreacted." Here's what that reminded me of. You ever see the movie Django? You know that character Steven that just loves massa. You gonna sit here as a Black man and tell me that a white man yelling at me, as they're trying to convince me that I need to come over to this new Black Media Trust, is something I should just accept? You got me messed up, and messed up is not the word that I want to use. So I just want to inform you all, because I'm not going to keep you all in the dark, because I'm not going to sacrifice my credibility for a level of disrespect. It's just, I can't even believe the level of disrespect. And my issues and my complaints are falling on deaf ears because they don't care about those, meaning you don't care about me. Why would I go into something where I know on the front end you don't care? Let's talk to Bob. Bob, you're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Oh, Sherwin, this is too interesting, what you were saying, and I just wanted to ask you about the hat you got on. Yeah, I mean, what brought you to the point of that hat you got on? I mean, that trips me out, but what you were talking about is just more important. And I'm willing to listen and lay back, and you can continue. Forget that hat, although it is strange. You did. I mean, I was going to tear you up about that hat, but what you were talking about is very interesting. And I will talk to you later. Forget that hat. Continue, sir. Talk to you later.
He didn't even need a call. I don't even know what the point of that whole call was. I'm not sure.
He should have hung up.
Yeah, I don't know. What does my headwear have to do with?
I'm not distracted by it at all. I like it.
Thank you.
You know I'm here to validate you.
It don't matter what I'm wearing or how I look. I should be taken seriously. And what I'm speaking about is, in fact, very serious. What I'm coming to find out is this. In what we do, the only people that care about us, those that come here and do our jobs, to provide information and to inform and maybe even entertain the community, the only people that care about us is you. Literally nobody else. And so my obligation is to you. Not to people that will pour the disrespect on so thick. I think, you know what it is? They think they can kick black folks around because they still have this mindset that, nigger, you better take this opportunity. Who do you think you are? And we're going to treat you any old kind of way. We're going to talk to you any old kind of way. Oh, you've got issues, you've got problems, or you've got complaints. Nigger, we don't care. You should be happy that we even let you survive. Now, you're going to take this opportunity the way we're going to give it to you, because guess what? That's what I'm hearing. I'm 51 years old. You think I was born last night? I've seen every incarnation of white racism, including when they hire black folks and pay black folks to present the racism coming from a black face. That's the first thing they do. Because guess what? It all changed when they can't say the word N-word. All they got to do is hire somebody. They'll say it for you. They'll say it for them. And so since nobody else is wanting to listen to my disrespect, here's what did it for me. This dude literally called himself trying to yell at me. And this is my welcome into the new trust. A 70-year-old white dude. I thought this was a black media trust. And I know that there are some people that are involved in the board that are on the trust that may be unaware of how I was treated. Now you know how I was treated. And whoever came up with the selection of the people, you made a very, very critical mistake. Because here's the thing about this white fella. He never should have been in the room. White folks, when it comes to like this kind of stuff, acquisitions and mergers, when we know they're going to be controlling, you know, the marionette strings, usually from behind the scenes somewhere, they got this dude out front. Over talking and talking on behalf of black people, a white dude representing a black media trust. How stupid do you think I am? I'd like to think that some of the stuff that I've said over the years proves that I'm not dumb, but that just shows you it don't matter. They still think I'm stupid. So that's where we're at, because I think I owe you all an explanation, because you're not going to get it from them. And so I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. Do I walk into a lion's den? Sometimes you walk into the lion's den and you think that it's a nice, comfortable dwelling, and you don't know there's lions until you get inside. They have lions greeting me at the door. And I have to make a conscious decision. Do I walk into the lion's den with the lion and roaring at me and threatening to eat me as I'm supposed to be walking in the door, but yet they're telling me that, well, this lion's den is going to be your comfortable new home, as the lion is literally salivating at the entranceway? It has been exceptionally difficult for me to obviously withhold how I've been feeling about all of this, because I think that is unfair to you. So that's, you know, kind of where things are at. I know that my some of my obligations here at Good Karma Brands ends on May 24th. I also know this, without disclosing too much, some of the people that you have gotten used to hearing for many, many years, you will not be hearing again, or at least not associated with this brand and this frequency. That's the only thing that I can say for sure, that there are some voices that you may not hear again. Also, I'm going to say this, and I got to take a break because I got to be honest with you, because I have no reason and incentive to lie to the people that have given me the opportunity of a lifetime by listening to me. I can barely even express my gratitude to you, and so I'm not going to lie to you. I may be one of those people that you no longer hear. There's still a whole bunch of determinations and thinking, and a lot of stuff has to change, and I recommended some of those changes. Of course, those changes are falling on deaf ears, and they can, but just know that if you want me, and I show you and tell you what's wrong, what needs to be changed, and what my non-negotiables are, and you deny all of that, then you actually do not want me. All right, now. Take a break and just continue on, because no matter what, I'm going to be all right. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family and help out in your community. You've been there for so many others. But when life challenges you, when rising costs, unexpected repairs, medical bills, or simply a rough stretch make it hard to keep up on a limited or low income, you're not alone. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are here for you, working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. If you're struggling with high utility bills, facing a disconnect notice, or dealing with a furnace emergency and your limited or low income isn't enough, support is available. Visit www.heat.help or call 1-800-506-5596 to apply for a hand up.
I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flySSHF.org and ask for an application.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
After a serious accident, you'll need a winning team to protect your rights. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber's offices. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I've been loving you too long to stop now.
Wearing a bonnet is fitting listening to this song. Something that people need to know, that if they disrespect me, they're disrespecting a very, very important listening audience. Because let me be clear, they want y'all. They want y'all to listen. They want y'all to be exposed to the advertisers and the goods and the services. That is what they want. And if they believe that they can treat me like I'm a peasant, like I'm a peon, like I haven't put in 2 decades worth of work in this city every single day trying to make this city better, if they think they can disrespect me to get to you, well, then that's just not a proposition that I can respect. Come at me and treat me and offer me a level of respect and dignity like you do them white boys. And if you can't treat me like you treat them and respect me like you treat them, we just can't be cool. We can't be. And I'm not going to rely on whatever friendship you thought we had or whatever personal relationship you thought we had. Because when it comes to my community, we ain't got no friendship or no personal relationship. Because if you're going to disrespect me, you're disrespecting my people. And I don't fly with that. Ain't no way. Like, what planet are you from? It's insane. If y'all knew what I went through yesterday, I was beside myself, but I had to keep my cool. I almost lost it for a second. Black media trust, huh? Ain't no trust. Call it something else. Let's talk to the caller. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Angry. First off, losing you would be like when the Bucks lose Giannis. And if this foolish gentleman is listening, he needs to learn to lower his voice when he's talking to a community member, because he really don't understand what Truth Nation is if he does not. And I'll leave that. Yelling is for children. And as a man who has crossed that line, I tease you about crossing the line about being 50. I apologize that you had to experience that, which I have had people attempt to do that, and you probably, in hearing me speak, and know there are some times that I have foregone what might have been an opportunity, because I would be willing to say lower your voice to a professional level, and I was, at the time I was making those choices, they were choices that I intentionally made. So with that said, wherever you go and whatever you do, I know within what you do, you're one of the best, my brother. And so
thank you.
You definitely have the support of the caller and anybody who is truly seeking truth about what's going on in the community, in the world, and with this station that many times does not tell the truth. I think Mr. Jones gave you a blueprint, my brother, to whatever you decide to do with that, be it a podcast that goes across the world. You've been on national platforms, as you stated. They don't know who they were the FCC would have problems with, my brother.
Thank you, the caller. You're one of the many reasons why I do this work, and we appreciate you and your support. Thank you, sir.
And one more thing, wherever you go, our ears and our phone calls will go with you. So I want to stress that I've told you before, I see you as a person like Roland Martin who could start your own platform, because there is a difference in Black Star talk and Black-owned talk. And because you were a part of the positive of that, regardless of how it ended, I know you know how to make that happen. And I'm wishing you the best, whatever you do, brother. We got your back.
Thank you.
God bless.
God bless you, too. Appreciate your call. if there's a worst part, there's a couple of worst parts. I mean, it's actually getting worse as time goes on. So this man is raising his voice to me and telling me, I've got 50 years of experience in radio. That don't mean nothing to me. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you come from. You don't know me. You don't know my people. You don't know this audience. You don't know this city. You don't know what we are trying to accomplish. You don't know what we are dealing with every day. I don't care how long you worked in radio. You ain't worked in radio here. WNOV was brought up because I am just as much a part of the legacy of bringing that radio station back to life as I am launching and maintaining and helping create excellence here at The Truth. While I may have had disagreements with the management of WNOV, let me be abundantly clear. They gave me the opportunity of a lifetime because Mr. Gerald Jones, like him or love him, saw something in me I didn't see in myself. And he allowed me to grow and to flourish and to feel comfortable doing what I do. So let me just say that. You know what this white dude said in the meeting? And he said, and he was yelling this. And we're in a conference room with all glass windows where anybody walking past could have seen it. He kept saying, Mr. Jones is dead. He's dead. Hold on, man. Don't talk about Gerald Jones like that. Clearly, we know he's deceased, but the fact that he was trying to say that he is now running the show made me sick to my... Okay, and so then one of the black people that was in the room that wasn't saying anything while I was being blatantly disrespected called me later. They called me twice, actually. First phone call, I didn't answer. The next one, I did answer. And I said, like, you saw how dude was talking to me. You didn't say nothing. You didn't speak up. You didn't say a word. And he was like, oh, Sherwin, you know, that's how white folks be sometimes. I almost threw up because I'm thinking to myself, you let anybody talk to you like that? You're a man. You let another man talk to you like that? You made up an excuse for a white man that's trying to convince me to come over to this new trust, and you made up an excuse for how he disrespected me in front of your face? You just as bad, or if not, you worse than him. Let's talk to Carolyn. Carolyn, how are you? You're on 101.7 The Truth.
I'm fine, Sherwin. How you doing?
You know. I might not be here on Monday.
Been there, done that. Look, been there and done that. I'm quite a bit older than you, so I know what you're talking about. I know what you've been through. But what they don't know and stuff is that how could it really be a black trust when it's white people running it? Right there is the problem. And even though he said he's been 50 years in radio, you ain't been 50 years dealing with black folks, okay? That's the problem, too, okay? So why they think they're going to be losing people, they're going to lose listeners as well as stuff, because we listen because of the format of the show, because I listen to all the hosts, and we listen because of the format and the different personalities and things. So, hey, you guys took all this time to build it up to 5,000 listeners and whatever. They're just going to lose 5,000 listeners in one swoop. And you have a nice day, and you keep your head up.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
All right, then. I'm going to take a break. I know that by being honest with you, this might be...
Pick up my order for Carolyn.
Oh, she's picking up her food. So I know that by me being honest with you, I might be done. Then I'm just going to have to be done, at least temporarily. Because the disrespect... Like, they're trying to sell me on why this is a good idea at the same time telling me that I'm not worthy of a level of respect. And also keeping me and my colleagues in the dark on what is actually going to happen. Like, we don't know details. We don't know timelines. We don't know where we're going to be. We don't know what the accommodations are going to be. There's a whole bunch of other complicated things about structures. None of this has been communicated to us. And the fact that he yelled at me, and there were black people that were defending the white man that was yelling at me, saying, oh, Sherwin, it's not that big of a deal. And then when I'm trying to express my frustration with how I felt belittled, this black man is talking over me, basically doing the exact same thing. And hold on, man, I don't know how you was raised or where you was from, but where I'm from, let's put it this way. If I didn't have a higher level of sophistication in class, things would have went down a lot differently, but I kept my head up. You know, I talked to my people. I had to get some second and third opinions. And I come to find out that the disrespect has been has been pretty consistent throughout this whole thing. So Tory Lowe said his goodbye. I don't know if you guys listened to Tory. I think it was on Tuesday, but he basically said his goodbye to you all and to his broadcasting career because Tory doesn't see a fit for him and what he does at this new endeavor. Here's the thing about Tory. Tory's supposed to make y'all mad. He is. He's supposed to get you all hot under the collar. He's supposed to get you to disagree. Like, that's what he does. But that's also just something that we offer. We offer an incredible set of viewpoints. And there's a lot of you that listen all day long. You may not agree with some of the stuff that I say, that Homer says, Bailey says, that Dame says, that Dr. Ken says, that Tory says, but that's the whole point. That's the magic and the beauty of it. If it was all just everybody kumbaya and holding hands and everybody agreeing, that wouldn't be no fun. But Tory has said that he is out. So we're going to play a little bit of what Tory said on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Don't miss one of Milwaukee's favorite summer traditions, the U-Path Ride for Arts, presented by Miller Lite, returns Sunday, May 31st. Ride a fully closed 20-mile course across the Hone Bridge with incredible lakefront views. Kids 12 and under ride free thanks to the Brewers Community Foundation. All in support of Southeastern Wisconsin Performing Arts. 7 a.m. start, finish at U-Path Fest on Summerfest grounds. Register today at upathride.org. That's upathride.org. Still think you're going to use those old chemicals just sitting around under the sink, in the garage, or down in the basement? We're talking things like old antifreeze, paint thinners, batteries, propane cylinders, and pesticides. So don't let them sit there. Get rid of them right away. To MMSD's Home Hazmat Drop-Off Centers. It's safe, it's easy, and it's open to all Milwaukee County residents. There are 3 locations open year-round. Let's clean up Milwaukee.
Tap into the best power hour in radio in Milwaukee.
So altogether, you're looking at $1,780 for your mortgage and for your property taxes in a year. And that's before you have to deal with, obviously, your water bill and electric bill. That's a steep price that people have to pay. And based off those numbers I just ran, to afford a home like that, you got to make $65,000 a year. But the problem is, here in Milwaukee, the median household income is only $54,234. That's out of whack. So again, I am all about affordability. I'm all about people getting homes. But what we have to understand is that until homes are more affordable, you can have a supply and demand problem. But the problem that we have here in the city of Milwaukee is that these prices, when people are listing these houses, they're listing them for prices that people really can't afford. And even if you do get the house and you're paying that, you're living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is not about living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is about finding something that fits within your budget and building equity for the future.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
70 million people in the U.S. have learning and thinking differences, like ADHD and dyslexia. Each has their own story. This is ours. At first, I thought it was just a phase. Then schoolwork became a struggle. Emotions got bigger, and my kids started falling behind. I felt alone, like I was lost in the dark trying to find answers. Then I learned about Understood.org, a nonprofit empowering parents and kids like us. It was like we had a light to show us the path ahead. Whenever new challenges came up, their guidance helped us figure out our next step. We still have tough days, but now we have direction. And I have the tools and resources I need to help my child thrive. No matter where you are on the path, Understood can help you keep moving forward. Visit understood.org/yourpath today.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm going to play a little bit of my colleague's farewell. Tory Lowe did say goodbye on Tuesday of this week, and I want you all to hear at least a portion of what Tory said. But first, we got to get to some of these phone calls, and we have a whole bunch of them. I hope I can get to everybody. Let's do Robert. Robert, you're on 1017 The Truth.
Hey, brother, I just want to say I commend you, and I'm going to tell you this. Don't worry about nothing, because you know what? As they say, the truth will set you free. They set you free to do greater things because I advocate for the whole concept of the truth. And when you guys started, I was telling everybody I know, man, check out this new radio station. Hey, there's so many people behind you, they just don't know. That hidden power, because that's all it is a hidden power structure because you guys were getting to your people. That's why it was sold. That's why it's going under this new construct, because they couldn't handle the fact that you guys were waking people up. Keep waking us up, brother. God bless you. And we going to follow you wherever you go, and we going to see when they start losing those points and losing sponsors because they're not getting the ratings. They'll see they made a mistake. God bless you, and keep your head up, and we got your back, brother.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. God bless you, too. Let's talk to Darius. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good morning, afternoon to everybody. First of all, I would just like to say to you, Sherwin, wherever you go, we go. And I'm just truly heartbroken just to hear this news. But it seems like every time we get something in our community with some substance and a real message, it all. But I would just like to say to all the hosts on 101.7, we just got to keep pushing and keep going. Thank you.
Thank you, Darius. Appreciate you calling me. Play a little bit of Tory.
Ownership of the truth, and I'll say this. I'm excited about what the next couple years look like for my career and things like that. And at the end of the day, God bless everybody on 101.7 The Truth and all of the hard work that they, have put into building up the truth. A lot of award winners right here on 101.7 The Truth. They have done an amazing job right here. The staff, GKB, the company. I am extremely just elated on all of the things that we were able to do in the short 5 years that we have been broadcasting. And I have reflected over the last 5 years of all of the many events that we were able to participate in, and Summerfest. I love being down at Summerfest, Juneteenth, a lot of the live events that we put on, a lot of the call to actions that were done right here live on the air from the Tory Lowe Show. So it was just an amazing 5 years so far. And like I said, the next 5 years is going to be amazing as well. But I just want to take some time to let y'all know that changes is coming. It's going to be a lot of changes, and change is good. Many times when people talk about change, it's inevitable. And after a while, we have to make sure that we make our adjustments, and we got to make sure that we flow with the right changes for our lives as well.
Let's talk to Andy. Andy, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Yeah, I'm disturbed. I'm disturbed to hear about what's occurred. I've got questions, and I haven't. I've just come in, so I haven't heard the entire broadcast. But I've received the message, and it's very disturbing. It seems like a tradition where a black entity is strong and growing and prospering, and then it's torn down. And so I thank you for your efforts, your work, your comments. At times I disagree with you, which is normal and natural, and it's very sad to hear. But I'm not entirely surprised because I'm thinking of other entities that have been supported and prosperous of black groups and black people. They are torn down. They're infiltrated and torn down or sold. And so very sad to hear. But please keep us informed as far as what your potential and new moves are. I pray the same for the other hosts. Please let us know so we can support that and so we can stay connected, please. And again, this is typically what happens, and it's very sad. But we have to stay united, we have to stay focused, and we have to continue to fight. And so, please, again, keep us abreast. Don't let us linger as far as what any new moves are made, and how we can be in contact with you and continue growing and learning and fighting. Please.
Thank you, Andy. So I have a YouTube channel where I'm going to be going live and just updating people on what I'm doing and what I'm up to. And eventually that's probably where my new broadcast home is going to be because I own and control that one. I ain't got to worry about firing myself. It's Hughes Views 414. Hughes Views 414. That's right. So thank you, Andy. Appreciate your call. I'm going to take a break, come back, and take the rest of your telephone calls. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, I guess temporarily, on 101.7 The Truth. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
It's the 32nd annual Home Blow birthday party for the kids on Saturday, June 27th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. for kids ages 2 to 13 years old at the Simmons Boys and Girls Club in Metcalf School. Admission is absolutely free. Shout out to our presenting sponsor, Beta Philanthropies, Inc., and platinum sponsors, the Office of Early Childhood Initiative Mighty Small Moments, the Brewers Community Foundation, Spectrum, and WestCare. If you'd like to be a sponsor for this year's party, email the Homer Blow Foundation at gmail.com or call 414-248-4954.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family and help out in your community. You've been there for so many others. But when life challenges you, when rising costs, unexpected repairs, medical bills, or simply a rough stretch make it hard to keep up on a limited or low income, you're not alone. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are here for you, working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. If you're struggling with high utility bills, facing a disconnect notice, or dealing with a furnace emergency and your limited or low income isn't enough, support is available. Visit www.heat.help or call 1-800-506-5596 to apply for a hand up.
Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. We're a city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals, the plates are piled high with flavor, and a lakefront sunrise sets the stage. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring, a place that welcomes you with open arms and where joy is shared in bites, beats, and cheers. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11 a.m. exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee.
Join March for Babies to improve the health of families. The U.S. is among the most dangerous nations for childbirth. With your help, we can tackle America's maternal and infant health crisis. Join us in Milwaukee on May 16th at 9 a.m. at Greenfield Park in West Dallas for this powerful community event. Connect with families, friends, and coworkers while raising critical funds. Every step counts. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org.
A huge month of Brewers baseball kicks off with a battle against the Yankees Friday, May 8th through Sunday, May 10th. Catch the Crew for half off with Wisconsin First Friday game tickets on Friday the 8th. Plus, Mother's Day Sunday is the perfect game to bring the whole family with new kids experiences every Sunday. Plus, the first 10,000 fans over the age of 21 get a Brewers picnic blanket at the Mother's Day game, courtesy of American Family Insurance. Score your tickets at Brewers.com.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
In sync. What do you mean? Let's talk to Julius. You're on 101.7 The Truth. Now, Julius, I got 8 people on hold, and I got about 6 minutes left of my show. So just FYI.
Okay. All right. Well, Sherwin, I've been following you, for a long time since WNOV. I remember when you was with those Word Warrior guys, and I know why you left them. And I just want to say, Sherwin, you bring humor with intellectual intelligence, and I think that that's one of the things that we need in our community. And I kind of figured that things is going to go this way, but I listen to you, Tori, and all of them. But I just say from you, I really admire your humor and your intelligence about what's going on in our community, the politics of it, and that's going to be missed. And I know wherever you go, you're going to have followers, because I'm going to be one of them. And because the information that you provide the community is what we need. And so, it's not going to be a loss. They're going to lose, not us. So I really appreciate you, man, and I love.
Thank you, Julius. Appreciate you, too. All right, then, Julius, let's talk to, oh, good Lord, where do we go? Alan, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Sharon? Just want to let you know, man, I've been listening to you for like the last 10 years, man. Probably like right after the 2016 presidential election. WNOV, learned so much, a lot from you, man. I just made 47 years old, so just 10 years ago, and I was mid-30s, man. I was just getting educated and schooled by you, man, on so many things I didn't know, especially about local government and things of that nature, and and how things works in life, and even a little financial advice from you as well. I called in before. Just want to let you know, man, I'm going to follow you wherever you go. I'm part of your Hughes Views 414 group. I comment on there a lot, and just thank you, man. I want to give you your flowers, man, and it's their loss. And like the last caller said, I knew this was going to happen, man. Every time we get something, they break it down, they take it away. So good luck to you, man. I love you, and we'll get through this together, man. I'm going to continue to follow you, man, and get educated about you, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you. That means a lot. I think I'm still going to be here on Monday. I just had to give you guys an update on what's going on. But I also want the folks to know that when they were disrespectful to me and yelling at me and making up excuses for why I need to accept being screamed at by a 70-year-old white dude that I don't even know, they're also yelling at the people that are calling in as well. Like, I want them to know that the disrespect that you showed me, you were disrespecting these same people. Let's talk to, we got to get through all these calls. Let's do Thomas. You're on 101.7 The Truth. I only got 4 minutes left, Thomas.
Let me make this real quick. Brother, you did your job.
Thank you.
You did your job. And I guess you know what I mean by that. This thing, I got to cut him off. I got to cut him off. You did your job, bro.
Thank you, Thomas. Mr. Lee, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Immediately. Many blessings. There's nothing but good that's coming out of what's happening, period. I don't see that there's anything damaging. I see nothing but growth and nothing but growth in the truth. And you have been all exceptional, all you guys. I've never pitted in my mind anyone against the other. And again, there's nothing but greatness coming out of the truth. Keep up the good work, big brother.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So I think what this is an opportunity to do, because obviously me and all my colleagues here, we all talk. It's like 5 different group chats going on. We're on the phone with each other all night. We are considering building something that they can't take and that they can't break, because it's about time that we have that. And for too long, the dissemination of our voices to help our community has relied on white folks. White folks will change their mind and evaporate whatever platforms that we're on that they control. So now it just means that we got to have something they can't take away. I also know that like digital is the way to go. Like a lot of people stream on YouTube. A lot of people listen online. So that is something that we can't take away. It's just I don't feel comfortable because I've been kicked around a lot. I think they forget that I was at Jammin' 98.3 of the Basement Crew. They canceled us. Then I was with Homer for a while on Below Radio. That's when we came up with the idea of the forum. And then I got picked up at WNOV. I was there for 6 years. They kicked me around. Then I went to the previous 101.7 Resistance Radio. That was one of the worst experiences I ever had. And that was a white progressive radio station. And they hired me and Earl Ingram. Like, well, how come you blacks aren't bringing all the black business? That's why you're here. We put you on the air so you can bring all the black businesses. That clearly didn't work out. That was the end of 2019. I started, dabbling with an online broadcast via YouTube, fall of 2019. And then the truth came that next year, the fall of 2020. And now here we go again. I'm tired because you put everything that you have into developing these platforms so that more of our people can get engaged and get informed, because I think a lot of good can come from that. when we can interact and have conversations and complain and find out information about candidates and politics and elections, because we're very much uninformed, or we're not as informed as we should be, considering how bad the conditions are. And then whenever they decide, they can cut it off or they can change it. And the changes reflect them and their sentiments more so than ours, which I get it. I understand. But when you have black folks trying to tell me that I should expect this kind of treatment from them, I've just done it too many times. I don't know what happens on Monday, actually, because I know I made a lot of people mad, but I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to protect people that are essentially threatening me on the way into the door. Because the biggest regret would be if I said, okay, sure, let me go ahead and do this. And then 6 months later, I'll be kicking myself because I know that I should have heeded the warnings in the beginning. Like, the way I look at it, it's almost like a blessing. Now, I haven't been fired yet. Let's just be clear. I'm giving you guys information on how the trust has treated us. And several of us are not coming back. Let's talk to Jamie. Jamie, you've been hanging on for a long time. Hi, Jamie. You're on 101.7 The Truth.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, sir?
It's all right.
I mean, I've been a long time listener, and this is my first time calling. But I truly appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
I really do. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Jamie. I appreciate you too. I think I'm gonna be here on Monday. I'll know immediately when I walk out in the hallway. All right, let's. Last one will be Mr. Mahdi.
Hey, my brother.
Hi.
Happy Friday. We love you, Mr. Hughes.
Thank you.
You need anything? Reach out. We got you 100%, brother. Get that podcast going. I'm waiting on you. Love you, brother. God bless you. Have a blessed weekend.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mahdi. Love you too. What have we learned today? Do I check the YouTube poll? 40% of you are not very satisfied with city services. 52% are very disappointed. We also learned that stand up for yourself. Stand up for your community. Don't let anybody kick you around. And consider yourself lucky and fortunate if their introduction to you starts with disrespect, because you know ultimately how it's going to end up. See you later.
This is 101.7 The Truth, Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform. And on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down.